Hi everyone, welcome back to GSS Tech channel. So today we're just assisting for any new guys working on the VMware ESXi host platform to perform an Iperf test between ESXi host, just for you guys to know or understand the speed between the ESXi host. Okay, so here today we have one of the lab from VMware's side, whereby we have, vCenter and ESXi host, as you can see here on the screen, and we are going to perform an network speed test, IPERF test between ESXi host 01 and ESXi host 02. Okay, so these are just the list of commands that we will have to perform today. So we are going to get an SSH session to both ESXi host. We'll need to cd to the user lib VMware vSAN bin directory, and we will need to create a copy of the IPERF file on both sides, source and destination. Then we will need to disable the host local firewall, and then we will need to find the IP address for the ESXi host. Here, in this case, we will be using the management VMK0 IP address, but this is not, like every time you'll need to use the management network. You can also use, like the vMotion network itself, or if you have a different VM kernel IP address, which you can, ping and connect between the two ESXi hosts. So you can use that, to perform your Iperf the speed test. So once we complete the speed test, you'll need to then, if this is required by VMware GSS, if you have a case with VMware, you can provide that, either in screenshot, or you can, export that to a file and upload that to your VMware case, and, so that maybe that will assist you with your ongoing case troubleshooting. Otherwise, this is very handy for you to understand, if what is the speed bandwidth, in terms of data copy that you can achieve between ESXi host. Okay, so let's start here, guys. So here, okay, we have two ESXi hosts here, 0 ESXi host 1A, and we are going to use ESXi host 2A. So let's have a buddy session to the ESXi host. Okay, so I do have, a few of the commands already ready here. So let's start. I'm just going to just clear that out. So we'll just restart from scratch. Okay. So as we have here, our first step is, okay, so we already have a putty session. So ESXi 01, another putty session, ESXi 02. Okay. And now we're going to cd to the vSAN bin location here. So one simple trick, typically when you copy from your notepad or WordPad, okay, once it is copied, when you are on a putty SSH session, it's just a matter of left click and then right click. It will automatically paste from your clipboard. Hit enter. Okay, -LH, that's just to list the file, and the file which we are required is this IPERF 3. Okay, so which is on the same location here. Okay, so then the next step here is we have to create a copy of the IPERF. Okay, and this is what we're going to use. Sorry, did not copy that, and here we go. So job done. Do that on the second host. Job done, and let's just confirm if I have a copy. And as you can see here, now I do have a copy of the IPERF. Okay, so next step is we will need to disable the ESXi host firewall, and this is the command. Again, let's copy that, right click, paste, job done, and job done. Okay, so next step is let's get the ESXi host IP. So in this case here, like I said, we are going to use the management VM kernel. Okay, so let's copy that here. So this is host 02, okay, which is this one here. Again, within Buddy session, if you just highlight any text, okay, so this is host 02. I can just here right click on the notepad, host 02, and that would be pasted there. So same thing for ESXi host 01, hit enter, and that's my IP. Host 01, perfect, and just put a separation here. Perfect. So as we saw here, okay, we have the management VM kernel. Okay, so if you guys want to cross-check the NIC on which this is running, okay, so ESXCFG switch -L, that will just print out the switch on the ESXi host. And if we can see here, we have two uplink. This is on VDS, okay, sorry, on DVS, this VMware distributed virtual switch, and this we have two uplink. Now, if you want to to find out, okay, what is the uplink that VM kernel adapter is typically using, just type ESX stop and just press N, like for N for November, N key on the keyboard. Okay, and then here you will be able to see the network. Okay, so in this case here, VMK0, which is our management, it is the data traffic is on VMNIC 1. Okay, and so let's check out the speed of that VMNIC 1, ESXi network NIC list. This will print out all the VMNIC on the ESXi host, and we can see VMNIC 1, and this is a 10 gig NIC here. Okay, so let's keep on moving. So we have the management VMK0 of ESXi host 1A, okay, and ESXi host the 2. So perfect. Now our next step is on the source ESXi host, which will be typically like the primary. Okay, so we'll start with this. Sorry. Okay, so this is listening now on port 5201. Okay, and the same thing now. So this is listening on that management port, and we will be doing the test on this one here, which is target host. That would be under 02. Okay, so let's proceed with this. Now here, if you see, I have 10 iteration. If you guys want to set it to 5 or 20 or 30, it's up to you. You can increase the iteration just to have a better average value in regards to the speed test. Okay, and let's proceed. Here we go. And as we can see here, this is doing a data transfer, and we have a speed test here. Okay, so this is in my lab. Now this is still running. Now, if we compare on ESXi Host 1A, which is the first one, we can see the same results, which is printed out listed. And if you can see, this is still in a listening mode. Okay, so here, if I want to change that, like I said, we can make that to 15 iteration, and this will do 15 copy. Perfect. And we do have, the transfer in terms of the size and the bandwidth here. So definitely you guys can, use that, as a test based, or use the same step if you have, a requirement with your VMware case in regards to check, the Iperf network speed test. Typically, like, anyone or customers would typically use that, if they have, like say a replication between site or replication between ESXi hosts or clusters or data centers, they can always use this, to have an idea in regards to the bandwidth or throughput that they can achieve in. Okay, so like I said here, so if you need to capture the data, then you can always output this to, like say, TMP, and then Iperf text. Okay, and then it will just output the file. Now the same thing can be typically, let's say, like if you are trying to put that into a D2 store, so that would be VMFS volumes, and then whatever the D2 store name, and then if you have a folder that you want to, or directory that you want to have that Iperf test, and that would be in this way. So you'll be able to capture and export that file, so that you can upload that to your case, or review that, or have it this reviewed within your team. Okay, so once this is completed, definitely, okay, since we have disabled the firewall on the ESXi host, you will need just to re-enable the firewall. Now definitely here on the host 01, just control C, just to cancel, the listening on the host 01. Okay, so host 02 is not sending. Okay, host 01 is not listening. And then we will just need just to re-enable the firewall. Okay, and let's do that. So we have the command here already. So we're just going to copy and chop down. Perfect, guys. So hope that will help you with anyone who's trying to use or perform an Iperf network speed test on the VMware ESXi host, and this can help anyone in regards to understand your network bandwidth speed that you can achieve between ESXi hosts, or between let's say clusters or data centers. Okay, so please comment if that is helpful to anyone. And just mentioning the GSS Tech, it is part of the VMware Tech GSS itself. So we're just, one of the employee working on the VMware side. So it's just, as we're getting, free time, we're just, putting some videos based on that. So if anyone is looking for something specific from the VMware end, please mention and comment, and then we'll make a video on that. Okay, hope you guys have a good time, and thanks for watching. Okay, thanks, bye.